And we're live. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, I'm still here, so I haven't had my kid, guys. Just want to let everyone know.
Yeah, Tripp's expecting a child to enter into this world, his second son, and so
Yeah.
we might lose him mid live stream, which would be
Yeah,
exciting.
that'd be
And
exciting.
weird and,
Yeah. If I get a text, guys, I'll just say bye and just bounce.
Totally.
But yeah, we've got Daniel Cubold in the chat. David Cubold, and then Daniel Croft in the chat, and then Peter's here. So welcome. Yeah, we're excited to hang out with the SurveySparrow team and Srini today.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Well, I'll get us started. So hello and welcome everyone again to Live on IFT. This is our 29th episode, and today we are introducing a new service on IFT called SurveySparrow. My name is Ben. I'll be your host. Joining me, as always, my colleague and best friend Tripp, and with us for the foreseeable future, our very own Chelsea Chen.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, hello. Tripp, do you, before we get to the agenda, do you have any announcements before we get started?
yeah, so first off, I wanted to let everyone know we've got a few more AI tools on the platform. So we've got an AI grammar assistant. So if you're like writing, messages, emails, blogs, even Slack messages, you can run it through the AI grammar assistant and it'll update it and make sure your grammar is good. So this is great for English speakers, but then all non-native English speakers, if they want to make sure their grammar works well in whatever final output they want. And we have an AI translator. So if you are like trying to translate a main document across like many other types of just languages, that's live too. We're going to announce that in our email next week. So be on the lookout for that email. And then finally, if you're a student, go use our discount. It's a 90% off discount for students. All you have to do is sign up with your .edu email address. I see, 5 or 6 students come in every single week. So I know that there's students out there using it. And that AI grammar assistant would be huge for you guys. So
yeah. A lot of the tools that we're adding are very student focused, or they could be used for students, right?
Yeah.
So
if I was in college right now, the world's just a different place,
Totally.
We still had to go through to like the library and check out books. And I don't know if people do that anymore.
Well, thank you, Tripp, for those announcements. Yeah. Before we get to the agenda, we have a special guest with us today. He is the product manager for integrations at SurveySparrow, Srinivasan KB. Srini, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, team.
Awesome. So let's take a real quick look at the agenda. So we're going to take some time to get to know Srini. He's going to give us he's going to show us the SurveySparrow platform and how a small team or solopreneur might use it for their business. Chelsea's going to walk us through how someone might use SurveySparrow on IFT. And we're, of course, going to take questions and comments from the audience. Myself and Tripp, as always, we're happy to answer questions. We're also here every week, so please do try to address your questions to Srinivasan and keep them about SurveySparrow if possible. And as always, stay till the very end because we're going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be giving away 4 of these IFT t-shirts that you see here on the right. They come in like 8 or 9 different colors, so if black's not your thing, never fear. And one of those 4 people is also going to win a year of Pro Plus. So stay till the end. And if you come here every week and you haven't won anything, let us know. Because Tripp, we still don't have a sophisticated way of picking the winner. So Tripp kind of goes off who asks a lot of questions and so that's sort of
post in the chat if you've been here every single week and haven't posted. If you're just one of those lurkers, I want to hang out. So what's up, Joel? Joel's in the chat. Killer.
Well, cool. If at this time, Chelsea, if you would click off of the slides. Awesome. And I think Srini, to before we get into SurveySparrow, if you don't mind, we'd just like to get to know you a little bit more. I've actually been meeting with your colleagues every couple of weeks over the past several months, but I believe this is the first time you and I are chatting outside of email. So kick things off, I think if you could just tell us, did we lose you, Tripp?
I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah, I was just saying to kick things off, Srini, if we could just kind of hear from you, who you are, where you're from, and how it is that you got into product management.
Sure, man. Hey, I'm Srinivasan. I'm actually from India. I work from a city called Bangalore in South India, right? So the story of how I got into product management, like you guys, I started with marketing after my college. Then I was into a content operations with few companies. That's when I had to closely work with product managers of the tech companies. That's when I get to know how interesting the job is, like how they get to work with a lot of stakeholders. And I wanted to get into it. Had to spend few years to trying to understand about the product, learn few things. And then I'm here. I got into product in my previous company. I'm continuing here in SurveySparrow.
Awesome, very cool. So SurveySparrow is your second tour as a product manager.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it that you like most about being a product manager for SurveySparrow?
I feel when you take product management, right, it's like the intersection of technology, business, and user experience, right? So, being in SurveySparrow, we are a company which help our customers improve their user experience, right? So that kind of thing, it's a unique thing, I would say. Not a lot of product managers get to work directly into improving the user experience of the customers.
Yeah. So you're like a UX tool helping customers improve their user experience, and then you get to work on the product.
Yeah.
That ultimately, yeah. So it's almost like this meta, like you're kind of in the product, but you're also working on the product. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever we learn, right, from our customers, we have to implement it in our product itself. So that's a good, interesting thing to do. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. So Srini, the service is the name. You do surveys, SurveySparrow. And a survey is a great way to gather important information, but it's also it could also be useless if you do nothing with that data, like combining it with business intelligence, automation, workflows, like support tickets, so on and so forth. Luckily, SurveySparrow is much more than just surveys. I think I can't tell you how many times I've created a Google form or something like that, sent it to people, collected data, and then done nothing with it, right?
Yeah.
So I think before we get into the demo, if you could just give us a high level view of or talk of what or explanation rather of what is SurveySparrow and what all SurveySparrow offers beyond just surveys.
Got it. Yeah, like you rightly mentioned, right? There's no use in collecting the information and doing nothing with it, right? So that happens a lot of times, more than you can think of. Yeah, we do see some people coming up and creating the surveys, and when we ask about how they're using it, that doesn't make sense a lot of time. For some people who want to try this feedback, they just get the feedback and do nothing with that. Yeah, we do have a lot of other things apart from the surveys. So see, we work on this concept called the voice of customer process, the VOC process. So we are a platform which have different modules which help the companies do their VOC process through the year. It's not the one-time thing, so it's a ongoing process. So to support that, we offer a lot of things. To start with, surveys. So when you take VOC, right, it's a combination of 3 stages. One is traditionally it is collect. Then we have analyze. Like you mentioned, right, we have to analyze the data that we collect. And the third is the act part, which is acting upon the data, how we are improving the customer experience with that data. So now when it comes to the modern VOC, it's not just collecting. So we have transitioned our product to the listen phase, right? It's instead of collect, it's listen, analyze, and act. So when it comes to listen, right, like it's not only about surveys. So today's like consumers like add their like feedbacks and expectation in multiple channels, right, multiple places.
Yeah.
So we help our customers like try to collate all those like information. For example, like we have surveys, we have a platform module for reputation where user can gather like reviews and rating from multiple platforms and analyze that in SurveySparrow itself. And we are working on social listening, like where customers are adding their like feedback in their social media profiles, like in pages. We get to gather those information as well and analyze in SurveySparrow. So there are multiple channels, like we are adding each those channels one by one.
That's cool. Wait, so like, for example, Google My Business, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews, you can kind of like pull all that information in, and then you have it all in one spot and you can analyze it and basically understand like an overall sentiment of like what your customers are feeling about your service. Cool. That's amazing. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So would now be a good time, Srini, if to share your screen and give us a bit of a demo, look behind the scenes at SurveySparrow?
Sure. Awesome. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, if you would. Okay, great. We can see. Yes.
Yeah. So like, yeah, like I mentioned, like we transition from collect to listen part. So I'll just take you the platform first. Like yeah. As I told you, right? Yeah. You can see the SurveySparrow app, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, like you mentioned, we started surveys. Like that's a major product that we have. When it comes to surveys, that especially in the listen part of VOC, right? One is surveys. Second thing that I mentioned, the reputation, where we can like gather reviews and ratings from multiple like platforms. We support like a number of platforms, like including what you mentioned.
Oh, cool. So like Amazon's on there. I think it's Travel.
We do support
very cool.
Yeah. Good number of platforms.
Indeed.
And this is not limited to what you see here. These are few platforms we have added, but we do support a lot of other platforms as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. And when it comes to the listen part, these are the two major things that we have now, and we are like also adding like multiple new channels here, right? When it comes to surveys, like if you compare it with like other typical survey platforms, right? They offer like a typically one-page survey, right? So like, for example, like you mentioned Google Form, there are other service providers as well, right?
Yeah.
But how we differentiate from those platforms is like the type of surveys that like someone can create with our platform. So let's say someone wants to create a survey, right? Like there are multiple like type of survey. It's not like we give you like a platform and you have to like customize it and use it like for your use case. It's not like that. They can start right from like if they know like what type of survey they want to run, what is their goal. For example, like if you see customer experience surveys, we offer like NPS, CSAT, CS, like that. And
this is really cool. So like, for example, like Google Forms, everyone used it, but it's not necessarily a survey tool, you know, like people just kind of use it to, who's going to sign up for kickball this year? Let's throw out a Google Forms, you know, but yours is like really designed to help small businesses, freelancers, like really do some customer surveys and focus on customer surveys. That's cool. Yeah. NPS, I've definitely heard of. That's like the big, like almost simple way to like see like how are people liking my product. So that's cool.
The interesting part is that's why like we don't call ourselves a form platform. Yes, survey platform. So this only makes sense to call us a survey platform if we have to offer all these like different type of surveys and support all these different use cases for multiple industries, right? And not to leave out like the people who do want to have a like normal survey. Our classic survey itself has a better UI when compared to like other platforms. So that UI is also like a USP for our product that we hear from a lot of our customers, right? Interestingly, like unlike other platforms, other survey platforms, we didn't start with a normal survey. Conversation survey is our like first product. When SurveySparrow started in 2017, this was our first product. We launched
Wow. So this is like any like e-commerce store, they have this in the chat, and then it'll just like follow up like after you kind of chat with the support person. There's just an automated survey that you can kind of walk through, and it's native. It looks like it's like inside the chat, and I'm just kind of going back and forth with the user.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, we offer this white labeling and customization. Like, you can customize it to match your like websites, like color themes and all. So people want to see a difference.
That is cool. But like, it's all automated, right? Like there's no, that's so cool. So I could be interacting. Let's say I'm on like my bank's website and I'm like interacting with the chat person on there. And then every single time they always say, how was your experience? And they always like want me to link to a different form to fill out whatever like MPS or CSAT, survey they've got. But this is just native inside of that chat. So that's like really cool.
Yeah, this feels like they're not asking you to do something extra. Also, I noticed that looks like a picture of Tenacious D.
Yes, so a lot more playful and interactive. I'd fill out this form, this survey.
One thing we noticed is like one major metric when it comes to the surveys is like it's a response rate, right? How many people receive my surveys and how many people respond to that survey. It's a major metric, right? So when we found out like chat surveys are the most like engaging type of survey, like when we launched it. And our target was to get like 40%, which is like a big thing in the industry. But in some cases, we were able to like achieve even 90% in some cases. So it's a thing that we didn't even like thought like that will happen. But that one insight that.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. I will say every time I get off the phone with like a customer support rep, they always say, "Hey, can you fill out this quick survey?" I always hang up. Yeah, I'm the 90% that doesn't do anything. But if it was an online form, I feel like us as millennials, we're kind of transitioning to more like if I could just finish all my support questions online and not over the phone, So.
And another interesting thing, like which is unique, is like we support this type of offline service. Offline service is like, let's say, like take this scenario, right? You are going to an expo or an event, like where the internet connection is patchy, or you are in a remote location, like conducting a survey where the network is not available, right? In those cases, they can install our like mobile apps in their like mobile or tablet or iPhone or iPad, right? And though the responses they get are stored locally in the device itself. And then once the internet connection is restored, they go to a place where they can find a network. Those responses were pushed to the platform.
Okay, cool. So anyone like add a, I've never been to one of these, but Ben's probably been to one of those, like this huge sales conference.
True.
When there's like a bunch of booths everywhere.
I feel like, we used to have a kiosk, right? At the old IFT office, right? People would punch in to let us know they were here. We like, you go to the gym and you have like, you got to fill something out, right? To go in. So I think kiosk or having a kiosk at a storefront's a very common thing now, right?
Yeah. But even these are great for like restaurants, like, if I'm just right after I finish, purchasing whatever, I can just fill out a quick survey, small businesses. This is awesome. Wow. This is cool. And you've only been around since 2017. So all this is, I think that's fairly recent, but you're right. It's 7 years ago.
It's like when we started, like we get to start with chat service and we added like different survey types like over the years.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is awesome.
Another thing is like all the other things are like focused towards the customers or consumers. We also have this 360 assessment which focus on like personal people development. So the 360 assessments you run inside the your company with your employees, right? That also we support a bit here.
Okay, cool.
And see, most often, right, if someone comes to the platform like this, like especially the solopreneurs, right, they understand from like some sources that they have to run these like surveys, they have to run these like BOC programs. But most of the time they get stuck in place where like they don't know what to ask, they don't know what question to ask, right?
Totally. Yeah. Well, and like I've freelanced in the past, and the big hurdle I went through is like, what product or service should I really like focus on? Because I'd have like 10 clients and they all have different services, you know? And then, so if I can like send out a survey, qualify those 10 clients and like really find like what are the pieces of my service offering that is really valuable to them, then maybe I can like culminate that into like a specific product that I can turn around and sell to future clients, you know, that I could like automate and make it a whole lot easier, more efficient. But I also was a dummy and I never used surveys. So this is great.
So we introduced this one, like all other companies, we also embraced AI. Well, to give you a demo, like let's say like we have this AI survey generator, survey question generator. Let's say like I want to ask some questions about IFT to the customers. Let's say like I'm giving this prompt, and we also have like for someone who even find it difficult to come with a prompt, we have like sample prompts here. If we click here, it will auto-populate. They can type that. Let's say like I click generate questions, right? In a few seconds, like you'll see like it will look into the prompt based on the industry and you know, right? Like that it will suggest you the questions. So if you see like, yeah.
Okay.
This is awesome. Is this built on ChatGPT as well?
We use like broadly available LLMs for this. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is awesome.
And if you see like it's more suitable also like if you're asking about like upgrading to premium account, like additional features, asking about improvements, asking about like support, how it's provided, and how often they use, the frequency it's asking. Like this, let's say like you find this questions relevant, you can proceed with the preview, or you can customize the questions as well. Or if you want to edit the prompt, you can do that. Let's say I move to preview. So a survey, like one is the questions that you ask. Second is like how good it is to take the survey, how the experience is, right? That's very important to get a better response rate. So the second stage, we show like different themes, different color themes they can use. And it also AI also generated like a suitable title, welcome message, welcome to IFTTT customers experience feedback form. And if you, let's say like I like this theme here, I get to like customize this. Let's say I do this, I directly land in a builder page, okay, with all the questions populated, ready to go, right? Yeah.
This is great.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone like who's like pretty much new to use the survey platform, right? Like all this happened in like within a minute. Like they had
easy.
A generator and the survey is like ready. Like they can, if they are satisfied with all these questions, they can go ahead and share the survey with multiple channels that we offer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how easy it is to like create a survey that, for someone. Or let's say someone who already have like questions like jotted down, they can also start from scratch also. For people like who want to see how other in other companies industries are offering, we do have like thousands of like templates they can use, or which are we already have pre-filled like questions and a theme for that.
Cool.
Yeah. So this covers the like the listen part that we offer, right? The the surveys and the reviews and all. Let's say the most important part in the VOC process after the collection of the data, right? It's the analysis part, right? That's another like major difference like you will notice when compared to other like survey platforms, right? So when you collect data, there are two types of data, right? One is the qualitative data, second is the quantitative data, right? And there are like platforms which offer like analysis, but they stick to just the quantitative part of the data, right? So for such people, like we have this dashboard, like users will be able to like build these customized dashboards. They can populate like the metrics what they want. So even here we have introduced AI, like for someone who is new to like building a dashboard, they can give a prompt and the AI will generate all the widgets or the charts based on the data questions they have.
I like how it says wing it with AI.
Yeah.
We call our like AI assistant as wings. So every time like you are using that, it's like you are winging.
Yeah. Nice.
No, but this is tough. Like I've tried to like, just simply build a report, or a dashboard in Salesforce before, and it was daunting for me. So like having something that could just like, hey, this is what you need to be looking at. You know,
Mhm.
at least give me a start, right? You know,
Yeah. No, this is really cool.
Let's say like for someone who already know like what chart type they want to use, they can start from scratch. We have multiple chart types here.
Mhm.
Or there'll be people who will know what metrics they want to get, but they may not know what chart. For them also, like we bifurcate based on metrics, what metrics you want to see. But
Yep.
you want to see a summary, you want to want to see the volume, the score, everything, like we have listed now. Yeah.
so
Say-
when you said that, and I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, when you said that there was qualitative data, is that like, so when you have like short answer questions,
Mhm.
where someone types things in, like how do people analyze those, or how do people is there a way to present that data?
Yeah, exactly. That's why like that's our more recent and like most sorted out product, which is like a CogniView. So dashboard is mostly for this quantitative data. But let's say as soon as like you move to the qualitative data, that's when it's hard to find a suitable solution in the market now, right? So what we offer with CogniView is like this is the core of the whole VOC process, right?
Yep.
This is something that we introduced like very recently, and like our customers are loving it. So the thing is, all the like the open-ended questions that you ask, all the reviews that you get, it's not only relevant to surveys, it's also relevant to other channels also, like reviews, ratings, likewise. So what CogniView does is like it extracts topics, right? You can define like what you want to look for, and it will help you like extract the like trends, like what things like people are talking about, like whether it's positive or negative, like how it's changing over time. All these things, like everything, whatever you see here is from the like qualitative data, which is very hard to analyze like traditionally, right?
Yeah. I mean, people would use like those word maps, and it would just have like a really big word in the center, and they're all kind of surrounded, and it kind of gives you some like,
True.
it points you in the right direction, but it's not like very tangible. You know?
And is this kind of using AI as well to build
using
this?
AI as well as our we tune our model to match our use cases.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that you've got AI using in analytics, because I feel like everyone wants to capture this AI wave, right? And it's everyone's doing the, you know, obviously the easiest thing to do is chat, right? But it's kind of lazy, and it's kind of overdone, right? And so being able to use AI to build like visual dashboards and analytics is like, this is a really impressive thing, and I'm happy that people are doing this. I'm happy that this is being done by someone.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Like here's quality information that is important to me, and it's, you know, AI has helped us get here, right? This is cool.
Yeah, that's right. Like, Ben, if you see this quadrant, like, right, see, this give you the visual like idea of like what I should focus on, like which is my strength, which is my weakness, where am I like with the product quality, like let's say like people are loving my customer service, what's the count. So they get to like learn a lot, but just by like start as soon as they start using this, right, they will see a lot of like a change that may happen in the way they conduct their VOC or feedback the process.
Yeah. No, this is really cool. I mean, we have like a lot of internal data from just like customers like asking, how do I do this? How do I do that? And we need to start feeding it into a tool like this so that we can kind of learn, oh, what content can I produce that would teach our users how to do X, Y, and Z a little bit better? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
All right.
great.
So I don't want to push this ahead too quick, but just looking at time. So we've talked about the listening. This is the data part of it, and then there's an actionable part. So
exactly, yeah. The action part, like we have two things. One is the tickets, right? It's not the typical ticketing like platform that you see like used for support tickets. Not like that. These tickets are created based on conditions like we set up from the survey responses as well as the reviews, right? Let's say someone is like giving a negative feedback about something, we can set up the platform to create a ticket for those like scenarios. So someone will be automatically assigned to this with the ticket. So it's like the customer experience team is working together with the support team. Like if there's something that they have to address it, they get the ticket assigned to them, and they had to like act upon immediately for that.
Right. Yeah, I can see how like I'm just exploding with ideas here about how like IFT could help with some of this. Like if you had like if you get a negative review, or if you get a like if someone gives you a 1 out of 5 or a 2 out of 5, like you could that could be something that triggers an applet and sends that to somewhere to take immediate action. If it looks like you do that in a way internally here, but yeah, that'd be really, really cool to be able to like create a task, create an immediate task with high, like a, this is a high priority when someone gives us a 1 or 2 or something like that,
Exactly. One thing I see like where it can like help us like extend this is like a lot of the times like people may want to use like external ticketing platforms they already have been using in their company. That's why like if we see like they start using IFT to push this data to create a ticket in external like a ticketing platform, or they want to push this data to external CRM, they can use IFT to do that likewise. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I think Chelsea might even talk about some of that stuff here in a bit.
Yeah. Mostly that's it. Like we also have this contact screen where you can add contacts, like a typical contact thing. Like you can create smart lists or list of contact list which you can use it to send out surveys, or like you can use it while analyzing those things as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, I guess if someone's filling out a contact information, it's nice that you have like a way to store all that data here. Yeah, totally.
And also like we also offer like multiple like way they can import contacts from like their external platforms as well.
Awesome.
This is really cool.
Yeah, that's all from our end. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Thank you for showing us that. I'm gonna, Chelsea, if you would at this time, if you would pop back to my screen, because I've actually created a
real quick. Before we jump into this form, Joel actually had a question in the chat.
Of course.
For Srini, he said, is there a way to capture demographic, geographic, and psychographic information on the survey taker?
Yeah, we do offer like by default, like you can enable it if you want. So to privacy, like it's all disabled. While you are creating the survey, right, you can enable it to collect the location. Based on IP location, you'll be able to record the demography of the user, the geography of the user. And because I mentioned about the contact section, right? You can ask questions about their like detail. Like let's say I want to get the age of the particular person. We do have like a separate question types like which will be like more suitable to get this data from the respondent as well. Yeah.
Cool. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joel. By the way, Joel is going to be joining us as a guest on the live stream. I believe it's sometime in, I think, December 6th. He's going to join us. Joel has a really interesting hobby where he does Christmas displays in his front yard with Christmas lights. And he automates a lot of this stuff. And he has it set up to where you can go and request songs. So he turns his house basically into a jukebox.
That's awesome.
And one of the cool stories that Joel told me is that someone actually proposed to their wife in front of his house because his Christmas lights expired. So Joel, really looking forward to having Joel on the live stream. Thanks for the great question. Cool. So what I have here is I've actually created and for the interest of time, it's just one question, but it's a 1-question survey that I've added as a part of an applet. So we're going to see if this has worked. It seems to be working. So I'm going to try this. And it's just simply a 1-question survey. Tell us about yourself. Give us your name. And so instead of writing my name, I'm actually going to write Joel's name. So we're going to say Joel Deering, right? So no one believes that I've already done this or that I've faked this. So this Joel Deering, we're going to hit submit. And then it says, wow, live on IFT uses SurveySparrow. Cool. So at this time, I'm going to go back to the slides. We're going to let that applet cook and run in the background, and then we'll check out the results here in a bit. But at this time, I'm going to hand it over. I believe this is you, Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. So the most common way that someone would use SurveySparrow on IFT is at the very beginning of a workflow where an applet or automation is triggered by a new survey response.
Mm.
And because there are endless possibilities of what could come next onto IFT, we've broken this down into 3 different categories. So the first category I want to talk about is communication. So here's a list of common ways you could, notify someone of a new response or pass the response data to the right people to take action on a response if needed. Next slide, please.
Very cool. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's interesting because if you're starting out a business, it depends on how you want to get notified. I think it depends on the volume of surveys, right? But if you're a small business getting started out, you probably want a text message every time someone fills out, because that's really important information, right? And then you might, once you've built up a business, you've got a team, maybe you want to have like a Slack channel that's dedicated to the hundreds of surveys that people are filling out every week. So just really what makes sense for your business. But there's a lot of different options here on IFT.
Yeah, totally. Well, and we talked with iTaken from JotForm a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned, and it kind of all makes sense, that filling out a survey or filling out a form is always the start of an automation. It's like you want to, in your VOC product, you want to analyze the data, then act on the data. But how do you distribute the data to the people that need to analyze it and act on it? And notify those team members, or even add it to a Google spreadsheet at the very end, just so that you have everything saved in a Google Drive. So
totally.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will go to the next slide here. I don't know how did we add these transitions that make these things really slow?
I think that was you. I think you did that.
That might have been me. Yeah. If I did it by accident, because I don't actually know how to do it. Sorry. Carry on, Chelsea.
Hey, so the second category is task management. You can automatically turn survey responses into task project on various task management tools, such as Todoist, Trello, ClickUp, or even Airtable.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, these tasks or projects comes with deadlines and reminders, which ensures efficient tracking and prioritization of follow-up actions. So if you don't use any of these task managers, one thing that we often see people do in similar automations is have all of their customer feedback for a given period of time sent as an event on Google Calendar. So for example, you could have a set time every day or every week to respond to all customer feedback for the previous period.
Awesome. Yeah. I love connecting things to Google Calendar. Because it's a great way if you're like me and you haven't really adopted a task manager, Google Calendar is a great way to get stuff done when it pops up, I guess. Cool. So
yeah. Next slide.
Final slow transition, lead management.
Okay, yeah. So the final category is lead management. So if someone comes to your website for the first time and they take the time to fill out a contact form, at the very least, you might want to add them to your, marketing email using tools like MailChimp, Constant Contact, or Aweber. And you can have all this information sent to Pipedrive or Salesforce CRM. And you might also want to keep a separate record of this information in a Google Sheets. So.
No,
Awesome.
for sure.
So let's see. I'm checking. Sorry, I was checking the applet to see if it's run in the background. Doesn't look like it's run yet. So I will go on to the next slide. So I guess the first three categories that you showed us here, Chelsea, we're all using SurveySparrow as a trigger when there's a new survey response. Now we also have a couple actions available, and maybe it would be great if Srini, if you could kind of tell us like how someone might use these actions on IFT.
Sure. But see, there are two actions like are currently available, like which is sharing a survey as well as creating or updating a contact in SurveySparrow. The major thing, like when it comes to like sharing the surveys, right? Let's say someone is maintaining a CRM, and based on some like event, they want to send them a survey from SurveySparrow. So let's say like I have placed an order, I have like closed a support ticket in a CRM, right? So I want to send them a survey via SMS or email or WhatsApp or those channels. They can use this action to like do that. That's a major like use case that we see here. When it comes to the second part, which is like let's say one is as I mentioned, like we do have option to import contacts in one go, but that can be applications where like you want to create a contact in SurveySparrow based on some creation or updation of contact from other platforms. Like let's say you're adding a row in Google Sheet, and you want to like create that that person as a contact in SurveySparrow immediately. You can do that with this action.
Okay, cool. So it's like every new MailChimp subscriber, let me add them to my SurveySparrow account. Yeah. Or even like whenever I have a Google Calendar meeting with a new client, then share a survey with them following that. You know? Yeah, that's really cool. These are great.
Awesome. So maybe I needed to allow for a little bit more time, but my applet has not run yet.
Okay.
So
you've got 5 minutes. It's a 5-minute polling for you.
you know, I needed to get someone to go on Retool and just push it through.
Yeah.
So I tell you what I'll do is while we're waiting on that, we tried this earlier before we started, and I actually sent the video to Chelsea. So we tried this earlier. It won't say Joel, but someone filled out the survey and their name was Scooter. So Chelsea, if you would just show us the video, and people will just have to believe us that that it worked.
That's awesome.
But I wanted to show this. Tripp and I have been getting really excited about these AI avatar video services, and what I thought was really cool idea with something like SurveySparrow is, let's say someone comes to your website and they take the time to fill out a survey or a contact information. It's the first time. This is why I'm here. This is my name. This is my contact information. Imagine how cool it would be if we could have like, say, a Tripp, if we have had a Tripp avatar that would send a personal video, right? Someone comes to the live stream and, they fill out a form, and then Tripp sends them an email later that day with a personalized avatar video saying, hey, thanks for coming to the live stream. So real quick before we play this, it still hasn't popped up. I should have done this. I should have done the survey earlier in the live stream. But Chelsea, if you will play this real quick, and we'll pretend it says Joel.
Hey Scooter, thank you for joining us today for Live on IFTTT. We hope to see you again next Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a great weekend.
Yeah, so I think maybe Srini, that's something we should try to create and promote. Is that you could have you could send an automated video every time someone fills out a form. Yeah, maybe. Cool. Thanks for indulging me with that, guys. If you would, Chelsea, go to back to my slides. And Tripp, do you have us some winners for some swag today?
Yeah. Well, so we've got a few people in the chat that have already won some
That's okay. Let's give them some t-shirts.
Let's do it. Well, Daniel mentioned he's already got a hat, but let's give Daniel Croft a t-shirt. David Cubbold, he's been here for a few weeks. Let me see. Joel definitely needs some swag. And finally, there was a struggling warrior. Is that what it's called? Struggling warrior?
That's
I can't
what it
see the
looks
rest of
like.
it.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
only see the WARR, but I'm assuming that's what the rest of it says.
Yeah, let's do it.
Very cool. So yeah, for those people, if you would send us a email at marketing@if.com, and we'll get you a shirt sent out to you. Also, for David Coupled, I don't know if you're an IFT user yet, but we'd love to get you set up with a t-shirt and a year of Pro Plus.
Let's go.
So yeah, so send us
Congrats.
an email at marketing@if.com, and we'll get you squared away. I think that's it for us today. Srini, thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun, and really excited about the integration, and we're really excited to see what we can accomplish together moving forward.
Cool.
Thanks, Alex. My pleasure. Thanks, team.
Awesome. Well, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Live on IFT.
Yeah, I did want to let everyone know that our community team is having open office hours every Thursday from 11:30 Eastern to 12. And so you can jump on there and then ask any if-related questions. You're going to be talking to Scott and Rohit. They're just going to hang out for 30 minutes and just answer any if-related questions that you have. And then again, next Friday, we're talking with Marquis from Surface. He owns a Asana consulting agency, and he's going to teach us how to use Asana. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.